My name is Graham Nelson, and I'm a ginger. I may not have any more hair, but you can tell by the beard, I've still got the red hair. And growing up was a struggle for me. Back then, it was called, carrot top or redhead or hey pale boy. Just going through school, you just got a lot of terms, and so I have done this case study to kind of tell with like the stereotyping nature that South Park has had on gingers. I wanted to see how people's feelings have evolved towards people with red hair, pale skin, better known as gingers. Just wanted to come here and kind of get your opinions on redheads, better known as gingers. So, what's the first, thing that comes to mind when I say gingers?
I generally think has no soul. That's just kind of like the stereotype. That's kind of how it goes. South Park episode. It's pretty clear gingers have no souls. So, sorry, because that kind of sucks.
So you base your philosophy off of South Park when it comes to gingers?
Doesn't anyone? Isn't that kind of like the basis of what all gingerness comes from? They kind of started it. You've got the ginger who's like completely afraid of the sun and will be like vaporized if they go out. And then there's the daywalker, which is like the pseudo ginger. It's like you got the red hair and the pasty skin, but maybe you have auburn hair and not as many freckles. So you won't die if you go out in the sun. You'll just be in severe pain. But yeah, South Park. Yeah.
So kind of going off of that sunburn thing, do you think gingers are afraid of the sun?
I would be. If you go outside and you get vaporized, you get struck by lightning, why would you ever do that? Unless you just wanted to die. Then I can see why you would do that. It'd be, an efficient way to go.
Are you personally afraid of gingers?
I'm not as much afraid of them per se as I am just kind of sad, it would kind of suck to go through your life like that, always being shunned, just kind of knowing that you had no future ever because you have no soul. That kind of just shuts you down for life. You're just going to be inherently sad. So I'm not afraid of them. I just kind of feel bad.
So if you saw a small ginger baby, would you pet it? Because that's kind of, you think it's kind of like
no, because gingivitis, that's a disease, you don't want to catch that. And plus I don't like babies anyway. They kind of freak me out and they make lots of scary noises and you never really know what they want. I guess you take an average baby and then you give it gingivitis and it's oh God. So I guess I'm not afraid of gingers, but I am afraid of ginger babies. Yeah. So.
Well, have you ever seen two gingers dating?
Why would you ever do that to yourself? If you're gonna have to reproduce, if that's your end goal, if you just want to be with someone, I guess who shares the bonds of pain and suffering, then I guess two gingers would date each other. But I've never seen it. That would be, I don't know, that'd kind of be interesting, like a freak show.
So if I said gingers are people too. All right, Mike, I wanted to ask you a few questions about gingers. And so kind of the first question, we just want to get people's opinion on what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word gingers?
Anger, hatred, a lot of negative feelings. Red hair.
Yeah, why is that? What has a ginger ever done to you?
Dude, what has a ginger ever done for anybody? Just as far as good of the universe. Think of any ginger you've ever known. Carrot Top. Case in point, Ron Howard. Has he even made a good movie recently? Pebbles Flintstone. She can't even say any words. God, I could keep going. That useless girl from Scooby-Doo. Daphne. Is that her?
Yeah.
Useless. All of them. Every single one. It just makes me angry. I'm sorry. I'm getting riled up.
So if you had 3 words to describe a ginger, what would those 3 words be?
Piss me off. Because there's one thing gingers do, man. It's piss me off. Them and their lack of melanin in their skin. Look at me. I'm okay. I'm good. I've got melanin in my skin. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you, kind of stereotyping gingers, do you think gingers are afraid of the sun?
I think so, yeah. I think they're vampires. Maybe. I don't know. That's, if there were such thing as vampires, probably, I guess there would be an offshoot of gingers. Because, sun kills vampires, sun kills gingers. It's all the same. All they need are those sharp teeth and I can't even think about it.
Have you ever seen two gingers dating, Mike?
No, God, can you imagine the kind of offspring that they'd produce? Like the uber ginger? I don't know if I've ever noticed it. I think I would. That's something I think I would notice.
Well, that was my next question. What do you think their baby would look like?
God, horrid white skin and red hair and light eyes. God, horrific.
Well, do you think gingers can ever get tan?
No, absolutely not. They just get burned. They just go from white to red.
What about-
And that's even worse because then their skin matches their hair, and then they're even uglier.
So after like going over this and getting your feeling about gingers, like, do you have any nice things to say?
Yeah, I mean, leprechauns are people too.
All right, Ryan, just wanted to talk to you today and ask you a few questions. Really feel like gingers are misinterpreted people. And so, are you familiar with
People?
the, yeah, are you, well, let's calm down just a little bit before we get into the questions here. What is the first word that comes to mind when I say gingers?
The devil.
The devil. Can you expound on that a little bit?
I mean, their soulless carcasses have to be controlled by the devil.
Soulless
And-
carcasses.
And it's clearly coming out of their pores with their red hair and their freckles and their soulless eyes. Like, it's clearly the work of the devil.
Well, do you think that because gingers are the work of the devil, that they're afraid of the sun?
Well, I don't know if the devil is really afraid of the sun. They're really just his minions to sit here and torture people with as much as their behavior as their looks. I mean,
So would you say that you're afraid of gingers?
I know I'm fighting a good fight, so I'm not so much as afraid as optimistically cautious.
Do you think like gingers are afraid of the sun? You mentioned them not looking as good as any other World Cup team.
Well, it's because they're very pale and they kind of look Neanderthal looking because they have like a really arched eyebrows, like, their eyes are really sunken in, and I don't know if that's like years of just not improve. I don't know why that happens, but like, I don't know if they're afraid of the sun, but I've never seen like a tan ginger ever.
Let's go into this. Have you ever seen two gingers dating before, Ryan?
No. I think that would kind of go against their whole plan of torturing other people if they were together.
So are you alluding to the fact that this spontaneous gene, a ginger would kind of be the ugly duckling of the family?
Ooh, I don't know if I'd say that, but I would definitely say that maybe they'd be like the misfit or misplaced, or look a little funky because they'd be so pale in comparison to the other kids.
All right, Sean, just kind of wanted to interview you real quick get your feeling about redheads. So like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say gingers, as they're better known by?
Retard or thief.
So kind of in closing, like getting your true feelings about gingers being the work of the devil. Do you have any nice things to say about gingers?
There may be hope in death.
Well, after saying all this and really getting kind of your true feelings, what nice things can you say about gingers?
Nothing. There's nothing good to say about gingers. Absolutely nothing. I've got nothing.
Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.